A special 2-in-1 edition, a late edition of In Other News, as promised earlier today during our midday connection. We're going to come back to recap the Republican National Convention's day through the eyes of two of my good friends who are sitting on Reporters Row, which is not in the arena where the convention's going on. It's in a separate arena. They did a whole nother arena just for all the thousands of members of the press that are there. But WVON of Chicago has sent their ace reporters up to Wisconsin. Please welcome Darlene Hill and Atiba Buchanan, hosts of the afternoon show. And I was listening, and y'all been rocking and rolling. You had everybody on today.
Hey there, how you doing? Thank you so much for having us back, Robin. It's been an exhausting day. Lots of
Yes.
conversation.
And I loved Darlene said her fingernails gonna pop off from fact checking. It's unfortunate that today you can't have a conversation and assume that the person you're talking to is at least telling the truth as they know it. There's you have to you have to catch people because if they repeat an untruth often enough, it's as good as if it were true. I was watching last night when Donald Trump Jr. said to the ABC News host, whatever Nikki Haley said about my dad in the past, that was in the heat of the campaign, just like Kamala Harris. Kamala once called Joe Biden racist and just went on like that. Well, that's not true. That is something they've been repeating, but it has been debunked numerous times from the Associated Press. From everyone has debunked it. But if you just say it fast like that and keep saying it, people say, "Yeah, she called him a racist on the campaign trail." So these little untruths are very, very, very slippery and hard to catch before they become as good as true. Who was you had some people on today. So my favorite was Michael Harriot because he broke down that Project
He
2025.
sure
And I read his thread this morning. So I'm so glad that and Atiba, I know how you love the facts and the policies and all that. And I loved how you dug into that. What do you think is going to make a difference? Because he's read it and now he's broke it down and compared it to an official Trump campaign document.
Yeah, and that's what we need more of. Again, I just want people to be able to evaluate the facts and then make an informed decision. And so, like you, that was my favorite segment because he gave people facts and then they can make up their own minds. And if you continue to support that, then at least you know what you're getting yourself into.
And what, like you said, Robin, and I thought the connection between what Trump has put out there versus what, Project 2025 has put out there. And then nobody here at the Republican National Convention wants their fingerprints on it. They, we asked a couple of people about it, even our colleagues, Rufus Williams and Perry Small, asked other Republicans about it. Nobody knew anything about it.
Project
Nobody.
what?
Absolutely. That's what they said. And then we just asked someone with the Illinois Legislative Caucus about it, and she said, that's been out there so long. That's been around there so long. She said, nobody really even knew what it was until just last year. It's old. Nobody even cares about it. Right.
Except that the Agenda 47, which is an official part of the Trump campaign, and I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't come down off the internet at some point soon, because it is, as Michael Harriot put it, it's more direct than Project 2025 in terms of what the plan actually would be, and he is speaking on it. So not teaching the real history in schools, which they say don't teach our young people to hate America or that America is racist. The truth is the truth, and we've been fighting for that for a long time. But I did love the way you guys handled Black Republicans as your guests and their right to be a Black Republican, right? So the woman from the Illinois Black Legislative Caucus,
Yes,
which
yes.
is doesn't say Republican, but I take it that's a Republican group.
And that's
It
what she
is.
said. We had to ask her about that, and she specifically said it's Republicans doing the work that like Democrats are doing, but we are Republicans. Yeah.
She's not doing all the work. She hadn't read the Project 2025 or so, just to be able to speak to what, and you don't have to, I have to agree. One thing Nikki Haley said last night was you don't have to agree with 100% of what your candidate says or stands for. Just the preponderance of it, I think, would be helpful. But
And
if you
and
haven't
we
read it,
I think that's something that we do every single day, Atiba. When you agree that we don't care which side of the aisle you're on, just be part of the process. That's why we give them the same respect that we would give anybody else that comes on their show. We don't agree with everything that they say, but of course participate. I, I didn't agree with anything anybody says.
wait, well, and then you got that great that great get you got, Rudy Giuliani. And I say that's a great get because we haven't heard that much from Rudy, especially talking to Black media since his many losses legally. Just lost his license to practice law in New York, lost 2 big cases, and Trump stopped paying for his legal bills.
Sure did. And I thought it was true. It was so telling, though, when I asked him about, but don't you feel bad for what those women in Atlanta went through because of what happened on with the 2020 election? And he did say yes, but he went back, he backpedaled, didn't he? That was so sad, though. That was
Yes, he
sad.
said, I feel bad for anyone who goes through,
Right.
some, like, wait, well, you don't take any responsibility for it. You basically
Right.
pointed the finger at them, and then all the people who believe in you and believe in the conspiracy theories went after those women. That's why they got that big settlement.
How many Trump supporters went after them? How many death threats did they receive? How many days did they walk out of their front door and there were other Trump supporters standing in front of their house harassing them? All that.
Is he still is he still a delegate, or is he just there?
He's just here,
He's just here.
just like the pillow guy is here too. We just didn't.
The My Pillow CEO, right? Because Trump has really distanced himself in recent months from Rudy Giuliani. So very,
Yeah,
very interesting. You guys, it was really a great show. And then the black man from who's the rich jeweler.
from
Okay,
Bruce level. Yes,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and
but
he's been with the Republicans for a long, long time.
he was not happy with
At
us after
all.
that. He said I was surprised when he said that he's been really good friends. He said he's a best friend. Trump is his best friend.
Well, and that's okay. Everybody got friends, and it's Trump got friends too. But I thought you treated him very fairly and asked fair questions. Now he obviously wants to focus. He says he's a fiscal conservative. That's the type of Republican he is.
Yeah,
But then he kind of slipped in there,
It's
But we also believe we need to protect life. Is that's anti-choice? What do you saying here? So if that's enough to ignore the rest of what's in Agenda 47 because you want someone who's a fiscal conservative, but then you look at the taxing plan in that document and in Project 2025, and that's not exactly fiscal conservatism, except for tax breaks for the rich, which are written in that document.
absolutely, and again, we go through this cycle of exploding debts and deficits under Republican administrations, and then we have the next Democratic president rein all those things in, only to be told that Democrats are the ones that are spending all the money.
right.
And it's just a tiresome circular dynamic. And but he did admit that's one thing that he didn't argue when I brought that point up. He
Right.
did admit that again, the debt and deficit does explode under them, and I'm glad we could at least agree on that fact.
That's true. He did say, yes, there's work to be done. Well,
Right.
indeed. You guys, we could do this every day, but this is just a peek into the Republican National Convention. Everybody who should be interested, right? You all should be interested in what's happening on both sides of the aisle. What I think is unfortunate is there are only two sides of the aisle. I think that what's really missing is our electoral system. Even the founding fathers, who got a lot of crap wrong, got it right when they said it will be a sad day when there's only two parties, and they have captured the system so that a third party really doesn't have a chance. And I think that's the reform that I would like to see worked on after this election. So I'm going to let you go. Tomorrow is the big day, but tomorrow is not the day of my podcast, so we will not be rejoining. We will join you on WVON, iHeartRadio.com, or just iHeart.com.
iHeart.
Yep, that's it.
iHeart.com or
And
WVON.com.
yep,
That's the one I go through is
there you
WVON.com.
go.
Then I get to Vaughn TV and all that other good stuff. But Rufus and Darlene, among my favorites on my favorite radio station, WVON 1690, that talk of Chicago. Thank you
Thank
so much for your insights. All right, bye bye. Have a safe drive back
You.
Thank
from
you.
from Milwaukee.